Good morning, friends. So, in the last class itself, we have started the poem discussion of the poem Mending Wall by Robert Frost. In the last class, only we have met two characters. One is the speaker, and another one is the old farmer, the neighbor of the speaker. The speaker, he doesn't love the wall, and he gives the reason why he doesn't love the wall, and also he tells why one shouldn't require the wall. And in the last class we have stopped our discussion. We have discussed up to the line just another kind of outdoor game, one on a side. So next in this class I am going to continue the next portion. And in the next portion, the poet, that is the speaker, a young man, he mainly tells why we shouldn't require the wall, and he gives the justification, that is justification for not requiring the wall. That is mainly he. And one more thing before I would like to before going to further discussion, I would like to tell one thing. The speaker, he doesn't love the wall. He thinks one shouldn't require the wall. To prove that one, he quotes one sentence, one line, that is, he tells the while balancing the stones of the wall, he tells the stones, stay where you are until our backs are turned. That is, at least we go out of the place, the stones should be in a proper place. So, after that is when they go out, when they move out of that place, after that, if the stones they are going to fall down, no worries, no tension at all. Mainly because both, that is the speaker, just to he wants to help the that neighbor, his neighbor, old farmer, only out of concern. It doesn't mean the speaker, he wants the wall. The actual point, only out of concern, he is helping the old farmer, mainly, or his neighbor, mainly in that spring season, mainly during mending or repairing the wall. So next, the speaker, he gives the justification why one shouldn't require the wall. He mainly says that it comes to little more. There where it is, we do not need the wall. Mainly because he is all pine, a type of tree, and I am apple orchard. My apple trees will never get across and eat the cones under his spines, I tell him. So, in the justification, why one shouldn't require the wall, the speaker, he mainly says, he is all pine, that is, in the garden of his neighbor, that is, of the old farmer, he has planted mainly the pine trees, and in the garden of the speaker he has only apple trees. So everybody knows his apple trees, they will not enter or they will not get across the garden of his neighbor, the old farmer, and eat the cones of the pines. That is, there is no more trespass. The trees, they do not move from one place to another. The trees or his the pine trees of his neighbor, they do not come and eat the apples of his garden. Since the trees, they do not move from one place to another, so since they are not at all going to trespass the place, then why shouldn't one require the wall? It is the justification of the speaker. He is all pine and I am apple orchard. My apple trees will never get across and eat the cones under his pines. So he tries to convince that neighbor, he tries to justify the neighbor, but that neighbor, he is stick to the old farmer, he is stick to his old idea or the idea given to him by his father. So he mainly says, good fences make good neighbors. So according to the farmer, according to the old farmer or the neighbor, if we have good fences, definitely we can have a very beautiful relationship. That is, there will be a very beautiful relationship, harmonious relationship between the neighbors whenever we have good fences, mainly because there will be no more trespass. If we enter somebody's place without the permission, definitely it will lead to the quarrel, it will lead to the dispute. So in that case, the beautiful harmonious relationship among the neighbors, between the neighbors, is going to be spoiled. But if we have good fences, then there is no chance for the trespass. Then definitely we may avoid the quarrel, we may have a very beautiful relationship. So according to the neighbor or according to that old farmer, if we have good fence, definitely we can have a very beautiful relationship. There will be a very beautiful relationship between the neighbors. Spring is the mischief in me, and I wonder if I could put a notion in his head. Though that neighbor or old farmer, just he goes on telling the same thing, good fences make good neighbors. This speaker still his every effort, his every attempt, mainly to convince the farmer so that he may change his idea. So the speaker, he mainly says only most of the time they do meet mainly during spring season. So he says spring is the mischief in me. Spring means here spring season. So only during spring season he gets the chance, the speaker gets the chance to change the very idea of the old man, the old farmer. He may try to change the very idea of that farmer or the old farmer. And next, the speaker once again he wants to gives the justification why one shouldn't require the wall. He mainly says, okay, why do they make good neighbors? Isn't it where there are cows? But here there are no cows. So actually the old farmer, he only told, yes, if we have good fences, definitely there will be a very beautiful, harmonious or a very healthy relationship between the neighbors. But according to this speaker, why do they make, they in the sense the fences, how do they make good neighbors? Why do they make good neighbors? Mainly because in our surrounding area we have no cows, no animals. If we have animals, then definitely we may doubt, definitely that is, it is sure for us, the cows, since they haven't any thinking power, they haven't any knowledge, so wherever they do get the greenery, wherever the greenery is visible, they do enter, they do trespass, and they do destroy the field, or they do eat the green plants. So mainly because the cows, they are after all animals, they haven't any thinking power, they haven't any knowledge, they do not know whether they have to enter somebody's land or not. But here the writer mainly says, suppose we have the animals or we have the cows, definitely to protect our garden, protect our crops from the animals, definitely we need the fence, we need the wall. But we are human beings, we have the knowledge, we have the thinking power, we have the common sense, we know whether we have to enter somebody's land or not, we have that thinking power. So since here only we human beings are here, we haven't any animals, so then why should we need the fence? So according to the speaker, since we haven't any cows, no animals in this area, so we do not need the wall at all. Before I built a wall, I would ask to know what I was walling in or walling out, and to whom I was like to give offense. And one more thing, of course, the speaker, though he doesn't love the wall, still he wants to help. He wants to help the neighbor. He doesn't want to hurt the very emotions, the very ideas of the neighbor. So he is helping him. He has joined his hand in the work of mending. But before that, before completion of that mending, or before building the wall, just he wanted to know, that is what he was walling, what is the intention, what is the purpose of walling or repairing the fence, mending the fence. And the speaker is not able to get the proper answer for that. So once again the speaker, he comes to the same point. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that wants it down. I could say elves. Elves means fairy beings, some imaginary creatures. I could say elves to him, but it is not elves exactly. And I would rather he said it for himself. Once again the speaker, he comes to the, or he repeats the same thing. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, and he mainly says something, maybe it is elves, that is maybe it is some fairy creatures, imaginary creatures, some, that is some superhuman creatures, so that we cannot see that, but we feel the very existence of that fairy creatures, though we do not see them, though they are out of our sight. So he says something, that is maybe some fairy creatures, some superhuman creatures, or maybe some nature or God. It, the elves, they do not love the wall, and it wants it, that fairy creatures, they want the wall to be destroyed, to get down. Even though the speaker, in every way he tries to convince the farmer, old farmer, or his neighbor, yes, we do not require the wall, since the in his garden he has mainly the apple trees, and in the garden of the neighbor he has only pine trees. So pine trees do not enter the garden of the speaker and eat the apples. In the same way, apple trees, they do not enter the garden of the neighbor and eat the cones of the pine. And also the here in that area there are no more cows, no more animals, so there is no problem of a trespass from the animals. Then why should we need the wall? So in thus, by giving so many examples and justifying his point, the speaker, he tries to convince the neighbor, yes, we shouldn't repair the wall should be destroyed, wall should be washed out. But the that farmer, as I already told, he's stick to his old idea, good fences make good neighbors. Even though speaker tries to convince him, but what that old man, what is he doing? He mainly, that is bringing a stone. I see him there bringing a stone grasped firmly by the top in each hand, like like an old stone savage armed. Even though the speaker is trying to convince the farmer, we, that old farmer, we do not require the wall, but that old farmer, he is very busy mainly bringing the stones and keeping the stones one by one. And here the old man is compared to the savage. Savage means primitive person of the stone age, that is uncivilized, uncultured person, a person who hasn't any education, any knowledge, any understanding. So even though the speaker, he is trying to convince him, one shouldn't require the wall should be broken down, wall should be that is washed out. Still the farmer, he is very busy in mainly repairing the wall. So though the old farmer, he is a man with sufficient education, still he is not able to understand the very thought, the very idea of the speaker. So only the speaker compares that old farmer mainly to the uncivilized man, a man without any education, without any knowledge. And also he feels, he moves, he in the sense old farmer moves in darkness as it seems to me. Of course, the that is the people of our ancestors, that is they hadn't any education, any knowledge at all. So they were mainly moving towards the darkness. Here darkness means ignorance, a life, a world without any education, without any knowledge, without any understanding or common sense. But we people, we have education. So with the education, we should move towards light. Light in the sense of prosperity, growth, or better life, better future, progress. But this farmer, old farmer, so though he has the education, instead of moving towards that light, progress, growth, development, better society, this farmer, he is moving towards darkness. Darkness in the sense ignorance. Here ignorance means the old farmer's old notion, that is good fences make good neighbors. Now he moves in darkness as it seems to me, not of woods. 1 minute. Okay. He moves in darkness as it seems to me, not of woods only and the shades of trees. He will not go behind. Go behind means give up. He will not go behind his father's saying, and he likes having thought of it so well. He says again, the old farmer repeats the same thing. Good fences make good neighbors. So old farmer, he stick to his father's statement. Good fences make good neighbors. And it is very difficult to change the very idea of the farmer, old farmer. Even though the speaker in every way, he tries to convince him, one shouldn't require the wall. Wall, according to the speaker, some negative qualities, that is just like hatred or jealousy, all those things. So since wall here, according to the speaker, wall should be broken down. That means all the negative qualities among the human beings or in the human beings, it should be broken down, and it will be possible. We may destroy or we may collapse all our negative qualities only whenever there is a very beautiful harmonious relationship, a very good understanding. But the old man, he is not ready to accept all those things. To him, his father's statement, good fences make good neighbors, mainly because his father, he has told or he has uttered that statement out of his deep experience, out of his deep knowledge. So the old farmer, he is not at all ready to change his mind, and he is busy mainly repairing that wall, even though the speaker, he is trying to convince. Okay, thank you.